just tell us. Okay. Oh, support us. Thank you. I'll get back to the start. Okay. So, who is familiar with open source design? Okay. So a few people know, most people not so sure. Excellent. So my name is Bernard.
Hey, I'm Ahmed.
And today we're going to be the devroom managers. Whatever that means. So we'd like to welcome you to the Open Source Design Devroom. This is our 6th year, surprisingly for us. We managed to get this organized. And we'd like to give you just a really short introduction to what and who Open Source Design Collective is. And during the day, sometime today, we'd like to get like a big group photo. Okay, because every year we kind of put a photo together just to say, who we are. So this was taken last year in the devroom. This is about a third of the people that were there, just in terms of people coming and going. We're always reasonably full devroom, which I think is a good indication. We're a collective of UX designers, graphic designers, visual designers, user researchers who advocate for more user-centered design processes and methods in the design of open source software. We started in kind of late 2014, and every year we've been kind of growing a lot. So what is the purpose of open source design? Well, we've got sort of 7 goals that we're trying to, achieve slowly but surely. You can read what these are. I'm going to go through sort of some of them, how we actually put these goals into practice. We're a small collective of sort of core people who are trying to do this, so everybody's welcome to contribute. And if you've got one of these goals you'd like to sort of champion, you're very welcome to do that. So in terms of the second one, make designers contributors, that's the wrong one, but anyway, we run a jobs board, and we host job advertisements for free. So this is for open source projects who are looking for designers to take part in the design of the software. All we ask is that the job must be related to an open source project. It can be from a company, it can be from a project, it can be paid, unpaid contribution. It's open. So the project can post a job, explain what they're looking for, and then it goes onto our website. We publicize it on Twitter, Mastodon, etc. Over the years, we've got quite a good number of jobs from both small projects to large organizations. Last year, one was from Passbolt, like a collaborative password manager, where they hired a designer from the open source design website, which was a good thing. We also try to provide a community for designers who either sort of know what's involved in open source or don't know what's involved in open source and are looking for like an easy way in. A lot of it is sort of sharing our experience, sharing our expertise about open source. This can be about UX methods, particular methods that work really well in open source, or methods that don't work well in open source. How to get involvement from the community, both in terms of the contributors who are making the software, writing code, and from users, because in comparison to more commercial UX work, you're dealing with a community of already existing people, and it's important not to sort of alienate those people. We run a bunch of repos with articles, articles that we've written, conferences that we've attended, just sharing the knowledge that we've managed to put together. This is completely out of sync. So jobs boards, as I said. Here's some of the jobs. From Scribus, the project people know, Tails, logos, interaction design, lots of different stuff. Design events. So I counted up all of the different talks that we either did or we curated over the past 6 years. So we've curated over 100 talks, 11 different conference tracks. So at FOSDEM, yep, come on in. FOSDEM 2015 to this year, FOS Asia, ApacheCon last year, ApacheCon Europe, and also our own Open Source Design Summit we did for 2 years. We've also taught design students in universities about how to contribute to open source, what is open source, and how it's a little bit different from commercial work. Yep. If you're interested in getting involved in like the curation of our conference, come on in. Hi. Our conference tracks, you're very welcome. Just come to the forum and introduce yourself. Funding, we don't have any. We basically run on contributions from the community. 2 years ago, we got quite a big contribution from Discourse, both in terms of finances and actually also powering our Discourse forum, which was very helpful. We're affiliated with the Open Source Initiative, Free Software Foundation Europe, also EFF. This is really important because it allows us to basically bang the very big drum about design and user-centered design and usability in organizations that have predominantly been about technical, about code contributions. So slowly but surely we're getting traction. They're understanding the importance of design in open source software. Our affiliation with EFF is around usability and security and privacy. The EFF advocate for a lot of use of open source software for people who have, certain security needs. As we all know, a lot of that software is difficult to use. People are now starting to see the importance of, well, if you want to keep a user safe, they also need to understand what they have to do, what happens when the software goes wrong, and trying to reduce that usability barrier. We have 1, 2, 3, 6, 8 meetups. Some are very active, some are not so active. This is a little bit of a strange kind of layout of my word cloud. So it's Boston, Portland, Denver, Bangalore, Freiburg in Germany, San Francisco, Brasilia, and Madrid. If you're interested in running a local meetup, you don't have to ask for permission, you don't have to ask for anything, just go and do it. We have a section on our discourse all about local meetups. It's basically to try and again get the word about user-centered design and design in open source software. That's about it. We do have a open collective. We have the grand total of $1,517, which if you're interested in helping, you're very welcome to. And that's it. That's very quick and very short. If you want to get involved, easiest thing is to go to discourse.opensourcedesign.net. We have a nice welcoming introductions thread. Come on in, where just introduce yourself, as much as you want to. We're quite friendly. we're reasonably active, so if there's a certain thing that you'd like to get, you're a designer who wants to know more about usability, or you're a user researcher who wants to know more about design, or you're a designer and you know nothing about open source software and you want to know how to or where I should start. We answer every kind of question. One of the things we're trying to kind of do a lot of is go and talk to university students who are sort of starting on their design career, and before the Adobes and the other people kind of get their hooks into them, we're trying to say, hey, there's a lot of other software that is maybe not as good, but there's no reason why it cannot be as good. Come on in. And basically, show them about a different type of design. I think a lot of designers are starting to, be more aware of, thankfully, of ethics and privacy and security. And it's not about, conversion of clicks, and it's not about, all of these kind of things, exposing, what's going on in certain algorithms. And while that's not our exact focus, that is certainly something that is built on top of open source software. So the other thing, we have our wonderful Twitter, where we post the jobs that we get, and we're reasonably active there, and that is it. So a reasonably quick sort of whirlwind tour through open source design. So we have, no, that's something else. We have our first talk at 10. We have like 13 minutes for any questions, or I'd also like to understand and know a little bit about who's here. I don't need to know everything about you, but if you want to say sort of, what you do or what you identify as in terms, come on in. Okay, or not. And if there's anything particular that you're looking to get from the devroom today. So I'll start. I'm Bernard. I'm a user researcher and interaction designer. I work for myself. I do work mainly in like public services, so how to get a driving license, but online. I also work in the internet freedom space, so internet censorship circumvention, privacy and digital security. I'm one of the founder members of Open Source Design with 5 or 6 other people. I live in London currently, but who knows what will happen after. At the moment. So that's me. Amit, do you want to?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Amit. I work as a computational designer. So I'm working with architects to come up with like geometry and fabrication and different design processes. And that's like a big chunk of my work, and I've been exploring a lot into like VR and other sort of technologies to give like a 3D perception of space for users. And that's where like my work starts overlapping with the whole UX aspect of things.
Okay. If anybody would like to, just put your hand up and. Okay, in the back.
I'm Michael. I work with CRM, which is an open CRM in FOSDEM. I get like a lot of open source projects. We've got lots of good functionality. Usability isn't terrible, but it could certainly be improved, and that's why I'm here. So it would be good to collaborate with designers who are interested in have those kind of expertise.
Yep. Yep. Well, if you want, nicely lined up, if you want, at the very end of the day, we have a pitch your project session, which is basically either designers looking for open source software to work on, or open source based projects, companies looking for designers. So it's like a 4-minute, super fast pitch. So you're welcome to. Okay. Well, there's also the jobs board.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
I'm Diogo. I'm a UX designer in time I spend a lot of time collaborating on open source projects. Yeah, today I'm giving a talk about using GitHub to make the process a bit easier for onboarding designers into these projects. I think at the moment it's quite difficult for a designer to go to try and find out how they can help out. So if we improve that, it will make it easier to onboard more designers.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Anybody else? Yep.
Hello, I'm Pablo. I'm the CEO of Collatus, the parent company of Taiga, cross-domain Agile Product Management, open source Agile Product Management platform, and also the parent company of UXbox, open source online prototyping tool that we will be presenting today.
Yes, I'm very interested to see your talk.
So I'm Juan, and I'm already part of the core team of the Xbox too. So nice to see you guys there. A lot of people interested in open source design. So hope you like all the design track. I will talk at 1 o'clock.
Excellent. Anybody else?
Go next.
Yep.
Hey, everyone, my name is Anil Dwal. I'm a user researcher from Police Authority. We work on a bunch of different open source tools, and I'm here mostly to just learn from all the other wonderful projects in school.
Super. Welcome, Alan. So we're just doing a little bit of introduction. If anybody wants to say, sort of who you are, what you work on, and what you'd like to get from the dev room today, and hopefully we can give you that. Yes.
I'm Claudia. We are service designer in Italy.
Excellent.
And we are here to learn more about the other side of design.
Yep. Super.
Yeah, that's it.
Excellent. Well, you're all very welcome.
We are students.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we're working.
Well, that's.
If you have job for us.
We can talk. We can talk. Excellent. Excellent. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Super. Anybody else? Yes.
I'm Remote and I'm a web developer, and the last half a year I'm handling the front-end part from our company, and I'm here to find more regarding the design and the user experience part because we have a problem with this in the company, and I'm trying to help and find more about this part.
Excellent. Well, the first step to fixing the problem is acknowledging the problem. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Anybody else? Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Adar. I work in devroom at Google, and I'm also the co-founder of Open Source Community Africa. Shaping our community to be
Just give me a talk. Right now. Excellent.
also one of our major goals for coming to this session is to gain more insights on how to bring more designers to come into open source back in Africa.
Excellent. Well, that's a really good thing, and I hope to see lots more designers from Africa as well coming here to tell us all about the interesting things that you're doing. So you're very welcome. Anybody else?
I'm François.
Hello, Francois.
I represent the CEO of Aginomatrix, which is a project that is open source and that aims at digitizing the sense of taste and smell for the food industry.
Okay.
Your job board.
You're very welcome to use it. Wow, okay. Digitizing smell and taste. Okay. I don't even know where to start with that. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Anybody else? It's really early. I know. I'm only this energetic because I was up at 6 o'clock drinking lots of coffee. Yep.
So I'm Jean-Charles, I'm from the private sector. I'm an occasional contributor to open source design, to the website part, so I'm a developer.
Thank you.
I fixed a few things as a Jekyll installation.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
I am on the picture of last year.
I'm going to go back to that.
It's more in the middle, I think.
Okay.
I'm here because I'm interested in what goes beyond the core development of open source project. We need the design, the documentation, and how to raise the diversity of the people contributing. So I'm also interested in the diversity part in my own
Excellent. Super. Well, you're very welcome, and thank you for your contributions. I'd seen people, fixing things, and I don't know where to start with that. So, thank you very much for your time. So we're doing a little introduction, just sort of, you know, who you are, what you do, and what you'd like to get from the devroom today, if there's anything. Yes?
Yes, I'm Lester. I'm from Germany. I'm a former IT project manager. I like to learn open source. I'm looking for support to move this demonstration to Europe toward Africa and Latin America. I want to learn the contribution and see how.
Okay. Well, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I just want to make sure I'm not... Okay, so it's 10 o'clock. We have 4 minutes. I think I'm going to stop talking because I'm tired of hearing my own voice. I'm sure you are as well. So we'll get pieces, computer connected and everything working. Yeah, and we'll start proper.